Hello YouTube and welcome to a new show that we're going to be calling Retroactive. Retroactive is going to be a show about looking at old games, playing through them and seeing what they're like. So we're going to start off this series with Valkyria Chronicles, a game which I played a little bit quite a while ago, but I didn't get too far into the game, so I don't know much about the story. So I've just played a couple of levels here and there before we started, just to get an idea for the mechanics and, you know, the overall layout of the game. So let's start Valkyria Chronicles.
The year was 1935 EC. Two powers controlled the continent. In the east, the sun rose over the autocratic East European Imperial Alliance, otherwise known as the Empire. In the west, a network of loosely allied democracies formed the Atlantic Federation. Both powers depended on a precious mineral ragnite for their survival, and its growing scarcity led to the inevitable war. Hostilities began in the east when the Empire aggressively crossed their western border. The Atlantic Federation responded, and the Second European War was on. The Empire, with its vast military superiority, struck hard, gaining ground in early victories and putting the Federation on the defensive. Emboldened by their progress and momentum, the Empire set their sights beyond the borders of the Federation. In neighboring Gallia, a peaceful principality along the sea, they found their next victim. Gallia had long maintained its neutrality in the tensions between the two superpowers. But the rich stores of ragnite under the Gallian soil proved too tempting for the Empire. It amassed troops along the eastern border and invaded with all the force of an avalanche.
So, as you can see, this game is kind of set in a fantasy World War II setting. I'm gonna stop talking during a few of the cutscenes, but I will pipe in every now and again in case something, you know, I feel like I need to say something about the story. But let's get into the next cutscene.
March 1935. Outside the Gallian border town of Brule.
So, from what I've played of the game so far, there are a lot of kind of FPS.
Residents are leaving the town before the invasion, headed inland towards the capital.
Kind of some FPS mechanics, as well as a lot of forward planning and thinking. So
I've been down this road in years. It really hasn't changed very much.
it's quite a sort of actiony slash strategy style game, similar to another one of my favorite games, which
Hey
would
there, guys.
be Fire Emblem.
You're beautiful.
I like Fire Emblem.
Snowing early this year.
This game also has permadeath, so
How's the water?
we'll see how that goes in this playthrough. If you want me to keep with permadeath incorporated into it, you know, through each and every single level, we'll see. Just drop a yes or a no in the comments on whether you want this.
Put your hands in the air, slowly.
Of course, our poor main protagonist has been caught drawing, bless him.
Haven't seen you around before. What's your name?
My name's Welkin. And you are...
The one with the gun. We're with the Bruletown Watch. I'm Alicia. Alicia Melchiot. So, I'm wondering what you've been writing in that little book you've got there. Imperial spies are in the area.
This book is nothing, really. I was just sketching the fish, and, you know...
Yes, oh, I know. And you know there's a war on, don't you? All right then, Mr. Artist. We'll talk about fish sketching down at the station. Take him away.
Thanks, fish.
So Welkin's gone into a bit of trouble here. To be fair, this probably did happen during a lot of the Second World War, where people would go around sketching things, and they would get arrested because they were convinced they were either spies. This actually worked as well. If you look into the history, they sketched things down in code, and they got away with figuring out how many soldiers they had in certain towns.
Fish. You're not bad with a pen, are you? I have to say, they're really very good.
Thank you. So you see, I really was just sketching.
Maybe. Or this could be some kind of secret code. And I intend to take my time finding out for sure.
Great.
Welks? Is that you?
Isara! Oh, your timing is perfect.
What have you gotten yourself into now, Welkin? Wait. Don't you live at the old general's house? That's right. I'm General Gunther's daughter, Isara. You do know everyone's supposed to evacuate, right? Yes, I'm aware of that. My brother's here to help me move to the capital, but that may be difficult. I mean, unless you're willing to let him go, that is. Huh?
Yep. You've just arrested the general's son. Well done. How embarrassing.
But I was just doing my job, you know. I saw you with the notebook and thought you were a spy. Again, I'm really sorry about that.
Thanks. Don't worry about it. I can see how I might have looked a little suspicious.
Welks has a real passion for observing nature. That's why he's studying it at the university, right?
Guilty as charged. I get so into it sometimes I forget where I am, or that somebody might be watching me.
Gunfire! Everyone keep your heads down!
Over there! Come on! Damn it!
Welkin, you can handle a gun, right?
Yeah. I mean, I made it through training anyway.
Well, they're probably just a small scouting team. We should be able to take them out.
I'm with you.
So, this will be the first part of the game where we actually get to control the characters. So, we'll quickly just save here, and then we'll get into the first episode.
Okay, here's the plan.
So this is a basic tutorial level to give you an idea of what's going to happen and how the the gameplay is supposed to be set out. So it's pretty simple. There are only a couple of enemies here, and it's not that hard to fail.
Just stay calm and get it done.
So for those of you who are wondering, I am playing with a mouse and keyboard here. This is on PC. And
I see 3 of them.
I have to say that the game really, for an old game, it looks really nice. The art style works out quite well for it.
Listen a second. There's something I should explain.
So when we start out, you get a general viewpoint of the map, and you are given what are called command points. These help you to move your characters.
Okay?
And the more command points you have, the more you can move your characters around, and the more you can do. So with this, we're going to try and move up and take out this scout that's near the sandbags here. So in general, it's a good idea to take your time, aim And make sure you get those headshots off. So with that out of the way, we'll keep Alicia here. And we'll end the current action there. And then, of course, we've got our two other characters. We've got Welkin, and we've got our town watchman. We'll move Welkin up and see if we can take out these enemies over here. Of course, later on in the game, you get a lot more characters to use, which is really useful. So in this game, of course, we do have cover, so it's a wise idea to make sure that your characters are in cover, otherwise you will get, well, shot pretty quickly and your characters can die. So it's really important to make sure that your characters are okay. And of course, if you don't kill the enemies, they will shoot back at you, so it's important that you keep your characters safe. So with Welkin back here, we'll move back to Alicia and move her up as well. Of course, you can capture enemies by walking up to them and then take their weapons as well, which can be really useful later on, as the enemies can have some really good weapons. Oh, so Alicia is caught out in the open here. Hope that Alicia will be able to take out the scout. Yes. Unfortunately, though, I cannot get her into cover, so this might be interesting to see if she gets injured or not. Because we've only got one enemy left. So, of course, I'm going to be skipping over a lot of this tutorial stuff. If you want to understand how the game works, let me know. I'll keep it in the next video. This is just basics to explain, you know, the mechanics for beginners here. So the scout is nearly out of it. Hopefully we'll be able to take him out very quickly in this next turn. So we'll move Alicia into cover here, and we'll take out this final scout, and that'll be the first level we're done with. Fairly simple.
I don't see any more of them.
So we got a nice B rank there. Completed that in 2 turns. Fantastic. Which is not bad. Of course, we get XP and DCT, which is our currency in the game, which will help us buy upgrades and things like that for our characters. So watch this final cutscene, and we'll end the video there.
There's no other sign of the enemy.
Good. Now, go keep watch and stay alert.
Yes, ma'am. What should we do with the bodies, ma'am?
We'll bury them. So it's begun. I'll do whatever it takes to protect the people of this town. I'll do it. Even going to war, I'll do it. What are those?
Seeds from the lion's paw. It blooms white, small, simple, and strong.
I want to be able to remember, once the war is over, that it wasn't all just people killing people. That even in war, there was also new life.
On the 15th day of the 3rd month of the year 1935, the Empire began its assault in earnest. A formal declaration of war was made upon Gallia. Though it was only a small front in a massive continental assault, what followed would prove that a tiny nation could best a military giant. These events would tell a story of tragedy hidden in the mists of time. A story of courage and of trust, of persecution and hate, and of love blooming even through the flames of war. What follows is a record of this conflict, and of those who fought, lived, and died.
So, thank you for joining me on this adventure, guys, and I'll see you in the next video on Retroactive.